Good evening, I'm Patrick Thomas. Thank you for joining us. The man convicted of killing his wife while their children were at home on Christmas Day 2013 learned his sentence this afternoon. First on Fox, a neighborhood is on edge after shots are fired last night in Lewiston. Now, one man is behind bars and people say they're breathing a sigh of relief. Well, another New York man is accused of dealing large amounts of heroin in Maine, this time in Portland. 22-year-old Jomo Cunningham is the fourth New York man arrested this past week on drug charges. Police say he was dealing heroin out of the Clarion Hotel on Congress Street. A man suspected of holding up a Rite Aid pharmacy in Waterville has been found dead. He has been identified as 22-year-old Nathan Boulay. Police began searching for him Thursday after a man armed with a knife held up the Rite Aid on Main Street. He apparently demanded medications and fled the scene once he got what he wanted. Video footage helped police identify the vehicle used in the robbery, and they used it to track Boulay down at an apartment building. They say Boulay was found dead inside the home and he was still wearing the clothing he wore during the robbery. A Rite Aid pill bottle and the knife were also found. The medical examiner's office will now try to determine what exactly caused his death. A man who made headlines for possessing child pornography is preparing to spend more time in prison. 37-year-old Joshua Dunstan of Bangor has pled guilty to possessing more child porn. The United States Attorney's Office says between March and May, Dunstan uploaded multiple images depicting the sexual exploitation of young children. It's not the first time he has faced these types of charges. In 2006, Dunstan became the first person in Maine to be convicted of using a cell phone to download child porn. He was on supervised release for that offense when the latest charges were filed. He now faces between 10 and 20 years in federal prison and up to a $250,000 fine. Dunstan will be sentenced at a later date. Thursday night, we heard from Marianne McQueen, a domestic abuse victim who struggled to find help from her church. Renee Ordway introduces you to a couple of men, a domestic abuse advocate and a pastor who are working to better prepare clergy to help deal with the issue. A quick response limited the effects of a fire at a Stetson home. A failed electrical system set off the blazes after homeowner Jeff Bill flipped on a switch in his attic. He heard a crackle, which was the sound and smell of insulation burning. The brand of insulation is older, allowing it to smolder for more than an hour before it was finally put out. Fire crews were able to contain the fire, but amid ripping out the floor caused more flames. The attempt to put out the fire and keep it from spreading wet the attic so much that it soaked through the floor of the attic and into the ceiling of the kitchen downstairs, resulting in a fair amount of water damage.
Circuits were tripping and I had no refrigerator, no microwave when I got home, and it kept kicking on and off, and then all of a sudden I smelled smoke. The attic was full of smoke and I got the dogs and my cat out and called 911.
It's cellulose insulation. It's very conductive to burning. It's good, dense property to insulate the house, but it also burns very readily because it's packed in underneath the flooring, so there's no oxygen to it. When you pull the flooring up, it ignites when the air hits to it.
Chief Kim Tracy says much of the plywood from the attic is salvageable and should be good for reuse. An investigation that spanned months resulted in a pair of arrests. 57-year-old Loretta Barton and 22-year-old Nicholas Rowling have both been charged with selling both heroin and cocaine from a large apartment building at the corner of Bridge and State Streets. For months, Augusta Police, the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office, and the Maine Drug Enforcement Agency have been watching the pair. That included undercover agents making purchases from the two. Both were transported to the Kennebec County Jail, where bail was set at $2,000 cash on Rowling and $2,500 cash on Barton. Welcome back, folks. I'm Patrick Thomas, sitting here with photographer and filmmaker Haroon Medinevich. Thank you for joining us. And you're on a special journey that began in northern Arizona. Why has it brought you all the way to Maine? You know you've made it big time when Bubba Watson's just chilling, throwing a few passes, just chit-chatting, probably talked about having a green jacket. That was my favorite part of seeing that Drew Brees clip right there.
Yeah, exactly. You're very right. It's at the Greenbrier, so I mean, it makes sense.
Two women that lived to be over 100, one was 103, one 102. One of them told me their secret was make sure you have a glass of wine and exercise, and pretty much after that you can kind of eat what you want.
Hey, I like that.
Then just strolled in the end zone, big boy style.
Seriously.
Like, did y'all see that?
Yeah,
Woo,
I know, that is a bad boy, Andre Miller.
Yeah, you started to tell us at the end 10.
I did, but now I have all the facts. So I called my dad, his buddy, Pete, who has since passed, God rest his soul, rode with Janis Joplin from Woodstock after it was all over in 1969 to her hometown in Port Arthur, Texas, where she
This
was
is after
born.
Joplin performed at Woodstock.
Yes. Had to go and pick Easter eggs at my grandmother's house. We'd have church, and then after that, we'd go over to her house.
You picked them or you
Pick
found them?
both.
I was
Sometimes
gonna
we'd
say,
pick
they don't
them.
grow on
We'd pick them.
trees.
Which ones that they painted, my aunt and my mom and my grandmother, then go put them out and then go find them.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Of course, we got a basket
Pick
too.
them, plant them, find them.
That was nice.
All about finding the candy throughout the house. Yep.
There
Nice.
you go.
Chocolate and all.
Well, that does it for us. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
Take care.